Primitive Woodsman BC Bushcrafter. I'm Jason, and this is Straight Edge Knives, and we're going to be doing a full review on this sweet looking blade today. Check this thing out. Oh. Handmade here in the USA. Primitive Woodsman was a brand that I hadn't heard about until recently, and it's crazy because you think, man, as much videos as you do, as many knives as you see, you think you've heard of them all, but there's a lot of really great companies out there that don't get I don't want to say not a ton of recognition. These are very, very popular knives, and I'm surprised that I hadn't seen them yet. But my buddy Jason over at the Knife Connection is like, hey, you got to check these out. And I got myself a hold of one of these Primitive Woodsman BC Bushcrafters from the Knife Connection, and I'm glad I did because this thing is pretty sweet. I'm digging the heck out of it. And you know, speaking of which, the Knife Connection is a sponsor of the channel. And if you're interested in picking up a Primitive Woodsman knife, you can head on over there and check them out. Jason over there carries a wide range of different makers, a lot of smaller makers too, which I think is really cool, as well as the big companies. But a great online knife company, really good prices, always doing good things over there. So definitely go check out the Knife Connection right here. You see the little logo. Go check them out. Order something up from there. There will be a link to them down in the description below. And speaking of the Knife Connection, you can also pick up Wicked Wax and Wicked Clean over there as well. Wicked Wax and Wicked Clean also sponsor the channel. Great company. I utilize these products all the time to clean up my blades, keep them in tip-top optimal shape, if you will. Wicked Clean does a great job of getting the gunk off the blades. Wicked Wax helps protect them, especially when you get like high carbon blade steels like 80 CRV2, 1095, stuff like that. You want to have a little nice protective coating. 100% made here in the USA as well, food grade materials, so you don't have to worry about if it's going to, you know, if you wind up using your bushcrafter to cut up a piece of meat, are you going to get sick after it? No, this stuff is, you literally lick it if you want to. Good stuff, guys. Definitely, and it's sold over there at the Knife Connection as well. And then my hands get beat up, tore up after my reviews. I like to utilize Wicked Rescue. Helps keep my hands moisturized, my feet moisturized, my elbows, my knees, so I don't have crocodile elbows and knees like my wife says. Wicked Rescue does a really good job of keeping everything moisturized, helps the little cuts, nicks, and wounds heal up a little bit faster as well. So definitely go check all that stuff out. Greatly appreciate it. Now back to the review. So again, I got my hands on this Primitive Woodsman BC Bushcrafter. A lot of really good features are built into this knife. You have a forward and rear lanyard hole, so depending on how you like to use your lanyards, you can put it forward or rear, but you can also use these as lashing points. If you had to make a makeshift spear, maybe you have to cut something from way up high, you could lash this, utilizing those holes, lash this to a stick, come up and, you know, do the cut up high if you need to. It gives you a couple of secure mounting points. You do have a bow drill fire divot right here into the side of the handle scales on one side, so you have to hold the knife there, you know, put the knife in the sheath. Then you can hold it right here and do the bow drill fire divot. Bow drill fire, excuse me. I've never started a bow drill fire. I would like to one of these days. You do have a nice thumb wrap here on the sheath. Pop this out. It does come with a nice Kydex sheath. There is a drain hole down here at the bottom. Plenty of mounting holes to put any style of carry system you want on there. Knife slides in there nicely. Little bit of a rattle, nothing too crazy though. Again, I'd just rather it be secure. Out of a rattle, a little bit, doesn't bother me too much. Holds it nicely. Pretty good sheath, I can't complain about it. Here in the box, take this paper out underneath. It does come with a Tech-Lock style, Blade Tech style clip on here. Couldn't think of the word. So you can either mount this vertically, or if you want to carry it like Scout style, you can mount it this way as well. Plenty of mounting holes here. Personally, I prefer to have sort of a drop on mine, like a drop belt loop. But these do work really well. It does come with it, but again, plenty of holes to set it up however you want to carry it. And then it does come with Primitive Woodsman's own wax as well, his proprietary blend for protecting the blade coatings and stuff like that. So that comes in the box as well. Mine just happened to come with a whole bunch of Knife Connection Christmas stickers too. Huh, imagine that. So that's what comes in the box there. But these again are all made in the USA. Man, these things, I started looking into them, looking them up, and these things sell fast. And I'm beginning to see why, because this is just a really, really good overall knife, belt knife. You do have an exposed tang here, so you can, if you had to crack open some coconuts, adjust some attitudes, maybe even strike a fire rod off of that if you needed to. You could. But let's get into the specs on this. This is, again, the Primitive Woodsman BC Bushcrafter. It is 80 CRV2 steel. The blade thickness is 0.156. It's decently thick. It's not overly thick, but it's thick enough where it's going to stay strong on you. The Rockwell hardness on this is 58 to 60, so it has a little bit of a higher Rockwell hardness. This does have a 0 grind Scandi bevel, and I'll tell you this, that's a scary edge, man. I'm just sitting here touching this, and I'm like, it's got a really good edge. It's kind of a little spooky. And this thing I imagine will just carve into some wood. We're gonna put that to the test. I don't think I've ever fully tested a true 0 grind Scandi. I've tested some Scandis that had like a micro bevel and stuff like that, but this is, as far as I can remember, I think this is the full true Scandi 0 degree edge bevel. So it's going to be interesting for me testing this out, see how it performs. You do have, again, that exposed tang. These do come with micarta handle scales. There's on the website, Primitive Woodsman's website, which will be in the description below. There are various different micarta handle scales that they put on there, but they all do come with a bow drill fire divot. But they're all pretty much some sort of a different color micarta, so you'd have to go check out all the different options that are available. This one just happens to be the red micarta, which I thought was really cool looking. I dig it. Again, the forward and rear, the Langer holes, and then you do have a 4-inch blade with an overall length of 8.75. So again, this is just a good all-around, to me, like belt knife. I ain't gonna lie though, like besides being like a bushcrafty knife, I could definitely see this performing well as a self-preservation tool as well. I guess any knife can, but this has a very acute tip. It's almost a reinforced tip. If you guys can see how it grinds, how it's triangular and it comes down, so it definitely has a stronger tip, but you're going to be able to pierce into some stuff with this, you know what I mean? And I like how when I punch out and my thumb's on the back, it's like where I'm going, that's where that tip is going, and I dig that. I think this could function very well as a self-preservation tool as well. Again, I'm no combatives expert or anything like that. It's just kind of a personal opinion, the way knives feel to me. But take it for what it's worth. And again, with this attitude adjuster, you come in, hey, knock it off, right? Or again, strike those fire rods. So we can come in here, want to put that in the sheath. Again, you have it in the sheath, you can come in here, strike some sparks off the Uber Lieben fire rod, like so. Or you can utilize the spine, throw some sparks as well, you see there. So, it does have a 90-degree spine. I wish it was a little bit of a sharper spine to throw a little bit more sparks, but it will throw sparks nonetheless. Works just fine. There you go. So, without further ado, let's get over this testing area. Try this out on some of the EDC type of materials that you're using on, and we'll get into the wood stuff as well. And we'll just see how this Primitive Woodsman BC Bushcrafter performs. All right, everybody, we're at the testing area. Let's get this bad boy out. Check this out. Again, give you a nice look in this overcast sky. Been really cold and foggy around here lately. Very cool knife though. Loving the shape of it. Has a very ergonomic handle. My big old meat paws fit well in it. I can grab it. Has enough of a choil up here that I'm not worried about my hands slipping up onto the edge. Coming in on that reverse grip, and get a nice good hold of it. Lock my thumb over the top if I want, but just feels really good in the hand. Either way, if you want to come in, has a very kind of neutral grip too, so you can come in if you got to do that reverse pull cut, or what do they call that? I can't remember what they call it, but anyway, we're cutting like this. It feels good in the hand all the way around. It's just a really good neutral all the way around type of feel. So let's get into the cutting task. So here we have the old catalog, a bunch of papers falling off of it. Come in here, I like to do this. This is the penetration test. Guys like to come in here, stab in, see how deep this thing would stab into this catalog here. Drive that tip in. Tip's right about there. Drove about halfway through that catalog with no issues. Come in. There we go. Got about 3/4 of the way through on that one. Not an issue there. Dries right in there. And it does have that, again, kind of like reinforced tip, which is nice because it's going to come in there and help push through harder materials and stuff like that. This 0-degree edge, I have been playing around with this a little bit. Check out this 0-degree edge. Nice, super clean cut through that paper. Again, this thing just feels ridiculously sharp. Here we have a pair of jeans, old cut-off jeans, getting pretty cut up now. All the videos I do with these. I like to cut through jean material just because if you ever run into a situation where you know either you got to make some shorts because it got too hot hiking, or maybe you got to remove some clothing material to assess an injury or something like that, or make tourniquet straps or whatever it is you got to do. I don't know, just making stuff up there. I like to cut through jean material because you can cut through some jean material. You can cut through a t-shirt, sweatshirt, stuff like that. So find a piece here to cut into. Here we're going to go right through the back pocket and through the jeans. So we're kind of going through two materials. Lay that right in there, cutting right through both the back pocket of the jean and the double stitched area where the back pocket is sewn on. Cut right through that, blasted through it, no problem. Here we have the upper part of the pants. Lay that right in there, right through the belt loop and everything like that. So definitely cuts through clothing without any issues. Here we have your regular old standard paracord. This stuff is, you know, it's universal. It's good for all kinds of stuff. Very handy to have. Utilize, you know, you got to cut this down to make some tent straps or tie downs, things like that. Look, it's just blasting through this. No issues whatsoever. You can sit there and cut up paracord all day long with no issues. That 0-degree Scandi grind is just blasting through it. If you had to come in here, do a quick, let's say you just had a quick chop through this, bam, quick chop through that one, and then almost the tip nicked that one. So chop through stuff, no problem doing that either. That 0-degree edge shows no issues. And the only reason why I'm checking it right now after cutting rope is because as I was chopping through, you know, you're coming in and you're hitting this stump and, you know, it's digging in. And so it's worth noting to check it. So that type of rope, no problems there whatsoever. Here we got the old tie down strap. Come in here. I'm going to blast through this stuff without any issues either. You can even, again, it's a cute tip, poke right in the middle, slices it right in half with no problems. Almost forgot to do the fire hose, guys. Here's the fire hose. You guys, this came off an old fire truck. It's cut and abrasion resistant. It's made to go through broken glass, car wreckages, all that stuff. It's a nasty material, hard to cut. Rightfully so. It's 2 layers of canvas with a layer of rubber glue, a layer of rubber glued inside. Can't talk today. Let's see the 0 Scandi grind. Said, well, really, it's cut resistant, huh? That Scandi grind said, hold my bear, hold my schnapps. Look at that, blasted right through it. Had to come in and stab into it all the way through. No issues there either. So yeah, you could definitely come in, do a little chop, blasting right through it, no problem. Now, is this knife isn't necessarily designed to be a chopper. It's a 4-inch blade. You do have a little bit of a guard here in the front, so you know if you're coming in chopping, you know, you can hit this guard on the logs. You definitely got to be back up off of something a little bit to chop. So it's not necessarily designed to be like a chopper, so don't think that, you know, you're going to be out there chopping down trees, because you're not. So, but going through the fire hose, there were no issues there whatsoever. Where did my sissy rope go? Oh, there it is. Got this old sissy rope here that I swear somebody dipped in some industrial grade lubricant, because this stuff is slick. Blades like to slide right off of this. And this Scandi grind said, no, not today. Not today, my friend, not today. We're just gonna eat right through this. Where all you other knives that you test on this like to slide off and give you pain, the BC Bushcrafter said, no, not today. we're going with the extra strong peppermint schnapps. Oh, nice. Oh, cutting right through that. Right through that, no problem. Chopping, chopping, chopping. Bam. Right through it, no issues. I'm pretty impressed with that. Because again, I've tested some knives that I do have a difficult time cutting that scissor rope because it just slides off. Like again, somebody dipped it in industrial grade lubricant, and this ate right into it, cut it, no problem. Very impressed with that as well. Just did another knife that did the same thing. So I'm 2 for 2 today on these reviews, guys. Knives cutting through that rope easy now. This is 3000 psi rated pressure washer hose. Has a hard layer of plastic inside of here, then like a layer of nylon, and then the plastic. So this stuff is always kind of a bit of a pain to cut because it's getting plastic in there, and that's, man, that 0 degree bevel just cuts right through that like nothing. Blasting right through this stuff easy. Yeah, I might be becoming a skinny grind fan here, guys. Oh man, it's just, I'm liking it so far. Here's the yellow nylon rope. This stuff is used to tie down all kinds of stuff. It's a bit of a pain to cut as well sometimes. Not for the BC Bushcrafter, it's not. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Huh. That's just impressive. I just blew through that rope easily. Pretty impressed. I know it sounds crazy. Like, it's a hard rope. It's a hard rope to cut sometimes, and sometimes even with really sharp knives, it's a little difficult. But it did it no problem. Anyway, here we got the old extension cord, household extension cord, three copper wires in here, all the rubber sheathing and stuff like that. Let's see how the skinny grind handles that. Well, it said hold my beer on that one too. So cut through it, no problem. Had to do a little chop on this. Let's do a little chop on here. Yep. Shot that right off. No issues there either. This thing still feels ridiculously sharp. Look at that. No edge damage at all. I'm getting a little bit more and more impressed with the skinny grind, guys. I think Primitive Woodman so far has done a really good job with this. And so now let's get into the wood stuff, guys. So I wish I could say I'm a professional bushcrafter. I'm not. I'm not by any way, shape, or form a bushcrafting expert. Little things I know here and there, but I do know that you might have to make a tent stake one day to help tarp, maybe an emergency situation. You're making a temporary tarp shelter or something. You need a tent stake. You might need to make one. You got to come in here, make a stake. And this is easy. This grind is just hogging this stuff off. No issues whatsoever. And I can come in here, dial this in super sharp. Yee. Yeah. Ain't no vampires coming into camp tonight with that one. Man, so you got your stake made. Now you got to make a little notch, right? So we're going to come in here. There's a little bit of a knot right here in this spot. Oh, man, this just digs in easy. So I get about a quarter to halfway in there. Then I stop it, and then I like to come in over the top. You guys see what I'm doing there. You guys see that? Then I'll come in over the top. I rock the knife back and forth. Cut those pieces out. Got to clean it up a little bit. Now you can come in here, clean it up a little bit. Got to make it a little deeper. You can make it a little deeper. Bam, got yourself a notch. Be able to stick that in the ground and booyah, get it through. Now, I can make several tent stakes with this, so we're going to go ahead and cut this one off up here a little bit high. Again, it's not necessarily a chopper, so just do a little tippity tap baton through here. Put some pressure on that edge. Bam, cut through nicely. Now I got the tent stake. I can make another one. Let's see. This is 0 grind edge is holding up Fantastic. Look at that. Awesome. So, how to make a tent stake? You can definitely do that. Now, you got to come in. You got to make some feather curls, right? Little fire curls. Get your fire going. This is a piece of softwood. I mean, it's like came from Home Depot. It's a piece of 2x4. Only softwood I got around here, but I like to do utilize softwoods and hardwoods because you never know, depending on what environment you're in, you might have both or one or the other. And for softwood, these is no problemo, no problem at all. Wow, this thing just digs into that wood, man. Yeah, it just bites into it. Let's try this real quick. I know a lot of people like to do wood carving like this. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, so I like to do fire curls. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna stick this in. I like to make my fire curls this way just because I feel like I have a little bit more control over the stick. I can make them a little bit finer, a little bit neater. And this is just, this isn't even fair. I mean, oh my gosh. Look at that. That is, it just eats through that wood like nothing. That's softwood. Here is a piece of seasoned almond wood. This stuff is hard. Let's see how this does. We're gonna do the same thing. The primitive woodsman has graduated from beer and schnapps. Now it's like hold my tequila, shut up, sit down, and hold on for the wood carving freaking ride. Look at that. That is just ridiculous. I mean, it just hogs stuff off. Look at that. Look. There's no edge damage at all. It still feels ridiculously stupid sharp. Let's see if I can do this. That's pretty good still. Although it was kind of a loosey-goosey paper. Let's try one in the catalog here. Getting a little off topic here. I'm just curious because running my finger over the edge, it feels sharp. So I'm just kind of curious. I want to. That's crazy. That's still cutting paper that good after doing that. That's pretty damn. That's holding the edge, right? So. You know what? Now it's time. We're going to get into a little bit of batoning here. Now, don't necessarily, a lot of people will argue you should baton with a knife, this and that. This might be the only knife that you have. You might have to baton through some wet wood to get to the dry wood in the middle to make those really awesome fire curls that we just did. So that's why we do it. I like to push these knives a little bit. I don't try to break knives on my channel, but I do like to push them a little bit so you know that if you had to push yours in a bad situation, you can do it. This is seasoned almond wood. Not a super thick piece, but we're going to come in here and we're going to give it a little batoning. Down to the nitty gritty. Oh, yeah. So it was thin and it obviously got thicker, as you can see that, and it just went right through it. That edge is still good. Here we have this little bit of a thicker piece as well. You can see there. I'm going to come in over the top on this one. Tonned it, no issues. It's still sharp, man. Oh my goodness. get a little bit of a thicker piece if we can. Look at this little nasty guy. Okay, you can see that right there. That's knot, right? That's all knot coming into that. We're gonna go, if you guys never baton through a knot, you'll know that. And we're going cross grain. Knots are like damn near hitting rocks in wood. No problem. I keep checking it. We're still straight. Still looking for a chip or a crack, or not a crack, but a chip or a glinting, and I'm just not seeing anything at all. Look at that. Man, Primitive Woodsman did a darn good job on these things, man. Look at this. This is a soft wood. It's a 2x, like part of a 4x4, I think. We're gonna go just a little bit bigger on the baton here. This is soft wood though. This should blast through here. There we go. Yeah, no issue there. Blasted right through it. Oh. Oh my goodness. That's still pretty damn clean going through. That's still pretty damn good, guys. After hitting it through that hard almond wood like that, that is still really good cutting through paper. Still got a needlepoint tip. This does have, even though it has like a reinforced tip, it does have a little bit of a acute point at the tip there, at the tip, obviously, right? It does have a bit of acute. It's still very, very sharp. This would be one of those knives where I wouldn't say, you know, don't try to break your tools, right? But you do want to make sure that they're going to hold up to some abuse. This is a knife where if you had to stab into something, don't go left or right. I don't think the tip would necessarily, maybe like the tiniest bit, the most acute part might break off, but do you really want to risk it? I would say no. But we are going to do 15 stabs into this. We're going to stab in, rock forward and back, get it out. We're not going to be cranking left or right, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Rock it forward and back and get it out. That's still a needlepoint tip. No issues there. So if you had to come in and do some needlepoint, like stabbing, I guess you could definitely do it. This is the BC Bushcrafter though, guys. Now I'm not going to crank left or right, but you might have to make a little bit of a divot in a piece of wood. So we're going to stab in here. We're going to turn this. We're going to make our drill a little hole here if we need to. Now obviously we're not going to drill all the way through this, but this does put a lot of pressure on that tip. Puts a lot of pressure on the edge right there by the tip. And typically if you're going to have something's going to break, I feel like it's always going to break there first. But we were able to baton through, didn't do any damage to the tip. I'm not hearing anything that sounds like this is damage, tips being damaged at all. All I'm hearing is this wood getting cut out. And it's doing a good job. Like, it's just, you could definitely bore a little hole through this wood if you needed to. They cut through there, bam. Yeah. That's still a needlepoint tip. You can see right there all that stuff falling out and a little bit of the hole I was drilling in there. So it's definitely got a strong tip too. Let's check that little attitude adjuster. I know it's just wood, but really what I was wanting to see is it going to knock the handle scales loose or anything like that? And no, everything's good there. One thing I did want to point out, I feel you do have some slight scallops here, so you've got to come in, pinch up, do some pinch grip cutting, anything like that, you could definitely do that as well. This edge is still fantastic. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Primitive Woodsman did a really good job with this. I'm super impressed with how sharp this thing still is, even after. I mean, most of my knives that I review are still generally sharp, but to cut paper like that sharp, sometimes they're not. This one still is. That's pretty impressive. I bet you if I took this to a strop and give it a few strops, oh man, that'd be ridiculously wicked sharp. So I'm pretty damn impressed. Man, if you guys are interested in picking up a primitive Woodsman knife, definitely go check out his webpage. I'm going to put a link down below. Also head over to the Knife Connection, because the Knife Connection is an authorized dealer for Primitive Woodsman as well. So you go check out their site as well. Pick one up if you want to. I think I would suggest doing so, because this is a pretty sweet knife. I'm digging it a lot. It's very cool. Very, very well made. That edge is still scary. Guys, this is the Primitive Woodsman's BC Bushcrafter. I thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, share this video with your friends, family, and co-workers, if you will. Whoever it is you want to share your videos with, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay safe, stay sharp, and have a good one.